we've got a few things going on here. I originally recorded my voiceover up on the roof, and I was interrupted by a hailstorm, as well as you can't even hear the audio because it's just so windy. So I'm guessing we are at a point in this crazy Montreal weather where I can no longer record voiceovers on the roof, which is cool, but that means my best option is here in my bathroom. So welcome to my bathroom where I will be filming this video. So cool. I think I have outgrown my art style. And in some ways, I also kind of feel like my art has gotten worse. All I know for sure is that something needs to change because I have not been loving the art I've been making. So what am I going to do to get to a place where I can love it again? I have a lot of thoughts about this and I can probably lay out more eloquently, but today I'm just going to be spitballing my ideas because I had a lot of thoughts while creating this piece of art. And once again, this video will probably make a little bit more sense if you've seen my other two videos during Peachtober, because it's kind of like a little series of thoughts here. But, you know, go check those out if you want to, and if you're going to be a rebel and ignore that, that's cool too. No worries. Let's get into this. Peachtober day 6. Day 6, the prompt was wood, and I remembered this old sketch I made back in the spring. And I kind of talked about this in my last video, but every time I have an idea, I try at least to make a little sketch of it so I don't forget it, because I have too many things going on that I will just forget any idea that I don't write down right away. So I remembered creating this sketch back in the spring, and usually I do these little sketches and I never come back to them because I probably draw one of these every single day. And I figured it would be good if I actually did return to one of them for once. So instead of the way I drew it out, because it's been quite a while since I originally sketched it and my goals of what I'm trying to create with it are different, I decided to change around the idea. So now the little tree guy's hands and feet are rooted into the soil or the ground. I don't know, you don't really see them going in, you just see them like rooting out, if that makes sense. And somebody would be taking the fruit that they are growing. I don't know, the fruits of their labor, I'm not sure. You could go and analyze this idea a little bit more if you want. I usually just come up with ideas and draw them, and then later on I try and analyze them and I go, oh, is that what was going on in my life at that point? I don't know. But I was pretty excited about this one. So I wanted to take this one seriously because I figured maybe the reason I haven't been liking my other days of art during Peachtober was because I wasn't spending enough time getting it all right, rushing my sketches and all that. So I figured for day 6, if I spend all day on the sketch getting it right, maybe I'll have an end product I like for once during this challenge. And I worked on this all morning. I woke up, I did color tests, little sketches, went through sketch after sketch of the final piece until I got something I liked. Kind of, but you know, it was as close as I was going to get. And so I was really trying to set myself up for success. And then I started with the watercolor. The result. I painted the piece, and honestly, I had a lot of fun creating it. I was listening to one of my really old playlists from the beginning of high school, just like vibing out, and I got lost in the process, which is nice because I haven't really felt that feeling since starting Peachtober. Usually when I get truly lost in the process of making a piece, I lose that pressure that I put on myself, and I usually end up liking the final piece. But that's not really what happened here. I think the final piece is okay. Once again, it's just not what I had envisioned, which seems to be a common theme with this challenge, which is making me realize something needs to change, either in my process, my style, my confidence, or my skills. So, let's talk about that. Why am I not liking my style? Let's list out some reasons and come up with some solutions, because I want to get past this little phase right now because I love creating art and I want it to be fun and I want to create end pieces I like. So, I just want to add before I get into this that I'm kind of past that phase of like searching for my style. I just kind of create whatever comes out naturally, and I have, you know, developed ways to draw that I guess, you know, that's what a style is. It's how you draw, and I've developed those ways. My issue is I'm just not vibing with what I'm creating naturally. So I'm not saying like I'm trying to get a new style, I'm just trying to improve the way I draw. Part 1. Too many visions, too many mediums. I think part of the reason I'm constantly disappointed in the final pieces right now is because I subconsciously have multiple ideas in my head for how the final piece will look. I imagine the granulation of watercolor, the strokiness of oils, the layers of acrylics, shaky line art, clean line art, brush pen line art, small, thin line art, pencil crayons, oil pastels. Like, subconsciously, I want it all. Even though I'm creating this piece with watercolor, I had envisioned a certain type of granulation with the watercolor, as well as this like bold, blocky digital color, as well as shaky line art, as well as super clean, detailed, thicker line art. I just had so many other plans for this piece that I wasn't really fully committing to the medium I was using, which is an issue because it means I'm not using the watercolors or whatever medium I'm using for that specific piece to its full potential. As much as I love being an artist that uses many mediums, I think it also kind of hinders me because I don't really feel comfortable with using any medium right now. And it would benefit me just to get used to using one, but I like jumping around. However, I think part of my issue is that I jump around usually as soon as a medium stops working. Instead of being like, I'm envisioning a piece in a certain style, I just stop using a medium because I have one bad piece with it, which stunts my growth with that medium, as well as with any other medium that I switch to, when I don't even want that piece to be created with that medium. So to improve this, I think I would benefit from taking the time to get to know what I want out of a medium, and to get to know what I'm capable of with that medium. I'm not like a total noob with any medium, but I'm definitely no expert, and I don't think I feel fully in control when I create with anything right now. To get to the point where I feel in control and confident, I think what I need to do is just use a medium over and over and over until I create pieces I like, because I have created pieces I like with every medium in the past, and I'm just kind of going through a funk right now. So I just need to get back to creating those few pieces that will inspire me to keep using that medium, and not quit. Part 2. I have 2 different styles for my sketchbook work and my final pieces. One of my biggest issues I think I face with my style is I can't decide if I want pieces to be more complicated or more simple. I love the look of clean line art, bold colors, and almost that like digital style. And I love my art that I sketch for fun with watercolors with the more simple line art because I don't have as much space to create something more complicated. One pass of color, I'm not really thinking about it too much. I like my art like that. But I also love when I create more complicated work with busier compositions. And truthfully, my goal is to find a way to merge the two. I usually reserve sketching for simple works and final pieces for more complicated works, and this just isn't really working for me. It kind of reminds me as when I played soccer as a kid, and my coach would play me as midfield in practice and defense in games, and then would ask me why I played better in practice than I did in the games. And looking back, it's pretty obvious that if you're spending all your time practicing one thing, of course you're not going to be good when you're under pressure doing another thing. But, I didn't know how to say that then. And apparently I find myself in the same issues now. I'm setting myself up for failure because of course I like my sketching work better because it's what I practice all the time. And when I'm under pressure, I'm just not ready to change it all up to something I haven't been practicing. I think the way I solve this issue is to find a proper way to blend complicated works with more simple works. I don't think I know how to scale my art up either. I think working too small limits the amount of detail I can put in, but working too big shows off that I'm not really comfortable filling in big areas with the medium I'm using. I haven't really found a way to work small or work big, and so I'm kind of lost in the middle. I think I need to work on finding a composition, a medium, and a style that suits my everyday needs. So it's not just my sketching needs, but it's also my final pieces as well. And that way I can continue to experiment and, improve upon it, but it'll give me a way that I like drawing, but I also really like the final pieces that are made with it. So I can be satisfied with both the process of sketching and the final piece, and it's just a practice that I can use all the time. Because as much as I think you can experiment and use a bunch of different things in your sketchbook, I don't think it benefits me, at least, to be sketching in one way all the time and making my final pieces in another way. I need to find a way to blend them, or at least practice more of what I want my final pieces to look like in my everyday sketching process. Part 3. I'm just outgrowing my current way of drawing. Do you ever feel like your art has gotten worse? I kind of feel like that right now. But I think I've come to the conclusion that it hasn't gotten worse. It just was better suited to my style before, so my work was better then. I worked hard to get to a place where I liked how I drew stuff, and for so long before that, I hated my art. And now I don't like my art, and I'm gonna have to work hard to get to another place where I like it again, and eventually I'm not gonna like that also. I think that it's just a cycle that never seems to end, and maybe that's because I'm not evolving fast enough or experimenting enough to meet up with where my mind wants my art to go. All I know is that right now I worked very hard to get to this style, but as I'm outgrowing my style, my art, like my final products, are just not keeping up with how I want my art to look because it's not what I'm envisioning when I create. I think my drawing style as a whole needs to change, and the only way to improve on this is to draw a lot. I need to sketch a lot and return to basics. I need to draw from reference, draw without reference, draw the tangible, the intangible, still lives, draw from life, like moving things. Basically, I need to not limit myself to drawing from my style, and also I need to not just draw from my mind because that means I'm creating the same kind of art a lot. I said this about Peachtober, but I really like the fact that every prompt is taking me out of my comfort zone with how my creativity works, but the issue is that my style is not being taken out of its comfort zone. So while my mind is coming up with new creative ideas, my style is not keeping up with that, and I just think that I need to bring my style out of its comfort zone and change how I'm drawing. I don't think my art has gotten worse, I just think my style does not suit my goals right now. Part 4. I'm no longer comfortable. Even though I've been creating in a style for a very long period of time, and that style is constantly evolving, I'm just not comfortable anymore. I used to be able to draw out final pieces, one sketch all on the same paper and just start drawing, and I was never scared I was scared I was gonna mess it up, but I would draw everything on the same sheet of paper, no preliminary sketches, so that I could allow myself to mess up. You know what I mean? Now I'm so scared that I'm gonna mess it up that I sketch it over and over and over on other sheets of paper, hoping to get every piece right until I finally trace it onto my watercolor paper. And, I know it's a good thing to have a process and to correct things before you bring it to the final piece, but I also feel like this makes me dissociate with the final piece of art because I'm no longer feeling it the same way as when I first had the idea. I've drawn it so many times now. I really want to get to a point where I can just be more confident drawing again. No overthinking how I draw features, how I do the line work, how I color, all that stuff. I think the best way to solve this, on top of just, creating a lot, is to relearn how to create without fear. Make more messes, be more bold, be okay messing up ideas, because as Peachtober has shown me, even if I'm scared and I put a ton of work into not messing up and hoping it turns out amazing, there's a good chance I'm gonna mess it up anyways, I put so much work into trying to get the perfect piece. I worked all day trying to get these perfect pieces for the past week, and I have messed up every single piece. So why don't I just experiment and make a learning experience and be fine with the fact that I could mess them up instead of, being scared that I'm gonna mess them up, because I probably will mess it up, and that's okay. In conclusion, I think basically what I'm trying to say, I understand this was one big ramble, so hopefully it made some kind of sense. I think what I'm trying to say is, as much as I like the idea for this piece, and I do for all my other Peachtober pieces, I'm just a little bit frustrated with not creating the pieces I have in my mind. Even though I like my style and I've liked pieces I've created with this style before, it's just not matching up with where I envision my art right now, and so I'm not even using that style to its full potential. I think the only way to improve this and to improve my style to meet my current artistic needs is just to keep working on it. So that's what we're doing. My plan is to get more comfortable with mediums and to be more comfortable with messing up. I also want to merge my sketching style with my final piece style so that I can sketch in my final piece style so I can be more comfortable when I get to the final pieces. You know what I mean? And that may mean I have to change what the final piece looks like. The point is I want a style, or, you know, multiple styles. I don't care. I want to draw in a way that's adaptable and that I like in many different contexts. And I don't think it should only fit in a sketchbook, and I don't think I should make my best art in a sketchbook. I think that I should just always be trying to make better art. I think I need to learn how to blend complicated pieces with more simple pieces so I can get the looks I'm looking for. I think I need to draw until a style naturally emerges, because it will, and it always has. And even though it's kind of frustrating right now, it's been frustrating before and it'll be frustrating again, and the only way for it to stop being frustrating is just to draw until I get comfortable again, you know? And so, I don't know, if you're dealing with the same thing, I guess let me know, because I'm sure either you've been frustrated with your style or you're frustrated with it right now, and if so, what are you doing to get past that, or what have you done to get past that? What I'm doing right now is just trying to use Peachtober to just draw as much as possible. I may try and complete some final pieces, but more than likely they will not look how I want them to look, because I'm still not satisfied with my style, and I'm just trying to be more okay with that. And so, yeah, let me know what you're doing. I'm thinking I want to create some kind of a challenge after Peachtober is over for myself and for anyone else who wants to join, as almost like a style exploration thing where we can try and find our style and try and use different mediums. But that will be in another video. And so thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.